This is a video chart presentation of GPM Metals Inc. It's a Toronto Venture Exchange listed company trading our ticker GPM. I picked this chart to wrap the week up because going back into last August, chart's making a long-range pattern of higher lows but lower highs at the same time, essentially forming a long wedge. Some people call this a pennant pattern. But point being, it's reaching the latter part of the pattern. Bollinger Bands have tightened up. Little bit of upward movement on Thursday. An increase in volume over previous days. Stock price holding over the 50-day moving average. All these things are saying pay attention to me to see if I'm going to break out of this pattern or not. Now with that, we have the MACD also making higher lows and at the same time making lower highs. Importantly, still holding over top of zero, signaling that the trend is bullish. And it looks like a bullish cross is happening of the 12 passing back to the 26 EMA. And you can see when that's happened in the past, that's been followed by a nice rise in share value. So with that, we're going to see if the bullish cross happens again, which will likely coincide with another rise in share value. Slow stows down very low. Not a lot of momentum in the play. But of course, for the last couple weeks, stock's just been trending sideways. Very little price movement. The buying pressure that came in on Thursday did get the slow stow curling, starting to move upward, signaling that perhaps a little bit of momentum is starting to build. One thing I want to pay attention to with the money flow index is to see if it can hold over top of 50. It's a more bullish sign for the chart. Stock price is trading above average prices, and holding over 50 is what signals that mark. So although it's been sliding down over the last couple weeks, as the price per share is flattened out, we'll look for some upward movement now to hold the upper half of that indicator. In that same fold, we look for indicators to hold over top of 50 in general as a bullish sign for the chart. You can see that the RSI 14 has been holding that point. And again, buying pressure on Thursday got the RSI turning upward a little bit more, indicating that some momentum is starting to build. So we're seeing some optimistic signs in the indicators, mostly the result of this green candle yesterday. And that's certainly enough to make us pay attention to this pattern, which in the long term essentially looks something like this. But what catches my eye a little bit more is the short-term pattern, which is more along those lines. So on that point, it looks like it's trying to break out of this couple-month pattern, and in the longer term, we'll be looking for those trend lines to be broken as well. From a static resistance standpoint, I'd look right in through this 11-cent mark. Stock price had a difficult time closing above that level. Only this one time here in January has that even happened, since going back to last October. So I'd suspect that's going to be a pretty tough area of resistance. On the downside, I'm actually going to look right into this 9-cent mark for some static support. It does run a little bit lower down to 8.5 cents. But with the 50-day moving average at 9.6 cents, and the Bollinger Bands also there, I'm really going to want to see the stock price hold up as high as possible to support the idea of a potential breakout. So I'm going to have my eyes set right there on 9 cents and see if support will hold there first. Now, if a sharper move does come, especially if it can be accompanied by volume, I'd expect some more resistance up at 13, with the top end resistance at 14 cents. Now, that's a pretty nice move from closing at 10.5 cents on Thursday, and equally important, it could be signaling a much larger move to come for the GPM Metals chart. So there's a lot of interesting things going on here. Indicators are certainly looking bullish, but we still need to pay attention for some trend lines to hold and a support point to hold. But to the upside, those are some things that we'll be looking for in the GPM chart. But as always, it's merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant. Strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the allpennystocks.com website to view the full disclaimer disclosure, and do not base any investment decisions upon any material found on the website and/or its video chart. No person employed by All Penny Stocks is a registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.